quickly into the net, making a statement. Sloane Stephens with a decisive forehand volley. Perfect summer's evening in Paris now. Not very hot, but lovely sunshine, fluffy clouds, none of last night's murk and rain. Katrina Adams, the USTA president, the front row of the presidential tribune. Proud lady, I should imagine, watching these two players meet each other in the semi-final of a Grand Slam and guaranteeing that America has a finalist here in Paris, which doesn't always happen. Serena Williams was the last American in a final here in 2016 when she lost to Garbiñe Muguruza, who just lost to Simona Halep in the semi-final earlier this afternoon. And then Serena won the title in 2015, beating Lucy Safarova. Serena also won the title here in 2013. So America has been represented through the Williams sisters. In the women's game. Quickly into the short return, no mistake on the put away. On the men's side, you have to go back to Andre Agassi in 1999 to find an American champion here at Roland Garros. Tried for the drop shot and didn't get underneath it. And before Agassi in 1999, it was a final appearance by Michael Chang in 1995, and then 2 years of domination by Jim Courier, our Tennis Channel colleague, in 1992 and 91. Prior to that, one had to go back a very long way to Tony Trabert in, I'm guessing because the media guide doesn't go back that far now, 1955, I would say, for Tony Trabert, who now lives in Pontevedra near the ATP headquarters down there in northern Florida. Interesting to see who's going to be the more aggressive. Both showing a willingness to get in. The court, as I was saying when we were commentating on Rafa Nadal's match against Diego Schwartzman, the court playing much faster today than it was in the drizzle of yesterday afternoon. Second ace already for Madison Keys. Forcing the play quite well, Madison, at the beginning of the match. See what Sloane Stephens can do about that. The more consistent of the two players, generally speaking. No, she didn't look as if she was going to make that shot even before she hit it. The face of the racket head was poised, but it didn't look right. Yeah, that's a good backhand pass down the line from Sloane Stephens. Caught Keys a little bit by surprise. Tried it again, and once more. She's not getting the racket under the ball enough. It's all very fine trying the slice, but you've got to get the elevation. That's much better looking. Forcing forehand.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Keys.
John Evert, Chris Evert's brother, has worked with both these young ladies. I used to see them in their middle teenage years on court at the Chris Evert Academy in Boca Raton. John and many members of Chris's family are here in Paris. They had a big family dinner at one of the most exclusive hotels in town, and I'm sure they ate very well. Right on the line. It looked good to me from here.
It's good. Just touching.
And indeed, it was.
Mademoiselle Stephens. Mademoiselle Stephens.
So there is the break for Sloane Stephens, and Madison Keys really gave that game away. She tried a couple of drop shots, which didn't.
Introducing rotisserie tacos from Swiss Chalet. Try our new chicken tacos with strips of our famous rotisserie chicken on grilled tortillas, topped with fresh ingredients and drizzled with chipotle sauce. Or try our rotisserie beef tacos. Any day, any way. Tacos are ready at Swiss Chalet.
Shoot it, Daniel.
Here's how to give yourself an extra hand in the dark. Use the Reactor Flex flashlight. You can wrap it, Hang it, it's magnetic, and it clamps. Look, no hands. The Reactor Flex flashlight, only $19.97 and only at Home Hardware and Building Centers.
In Wells Tennis Garden, where the big BNP Paribas tournament is held in March, just down the road from La Quinta. And the beautiful hotel that you find there, one of the most lovely hotels in America. Raymond Moore has fought for equality of women's prize money. There was a situation about 18 months ago where two of the big tournaments wanted to reduce the women's prize money, and Ray Moore stood up to that and said, no, we're going to keep it the same level here at Indian Wells, and won the argument. Finding the net far too often, Madison Keys, for her own good. She's got to get some elevation, get some topspin going, get the ball over the net. Very basic first step to winning a point. Really, a little bit of a problem here. Really can't get the ball in play. Sloane Stephens, coached by Camo Murray, very articulate young man from Chicago, has been talking to us on Tennis Channel. Her mother travels with her, Sybil Smith. Her brother is Sean Farrell. Madison Keys is coached by another member of the Tennis Channel announcing staff, Lindsay Davenport, as well as Dieter Kindelman. Oh, that was close, but it was in. And Madison Keys needs all the points she can grab at the moment. 1-3 down, first set. Better than hitting it into the net. Better to hit it long, because you can lower the trajectory just a fraction, but it means that you're going for your strokes. Interesting piece of advice Ivan Lubicic gave to Roger Federer before last year's Australian Open. That's out. Lubicic had only joined the Federer coaching team a few months before. He'd been looking at all Federer's matches before Roger took 6 months off to rest his back and came back at Australia, and Ljubicic gave him 2 pieces of advice. That's better from Madison. 4th ace gets it to 40-30. He said, first of all, don't say he was playing Rafael Nadal, of course, in the final. And don't think you have to hurry to beat Rafa Nadal. Yes, put away very nicely. That'll make her feel better. And Ljubicic said, you're perfectly capable of beating Nadal in 5 sets, so don't panic if you lose the first one.
This is the 7-passenger Acura MDX, designed for where you drive.
Visit your local Acura dealer for great offers on the powerfully driven 2018 Acura MDX.
1978, the year it all started at Kelsey's. With big hair, bell-bottoms, and roller girls. The year we brought buffalo wings north of the border and the burliest of burgers. And we've still got it with Burger Fest. Choose from 9 original burgers, like the Spam Burger, the All-Day Breakfast Burger, and the Appy. Made with 100% Canadian chuck, served with chip truck-style fries. And why not enjoy a 14-ounce Budweiser or Prohibition Brew? Burger Fest at Kelsey's until July 15th.
Nomadic creatures such as this Sorrento must not only find their way into new environments, but out of them as well. But with adaptive vision and a bit of brawn, it should be just fine. Because when it comes to natural habitats, the Sorrento's just happens to be wherever it goes.
Slam semi-final to follow up on their final in New York. That was long, and anyway, it better have been long, because Sloane stopped the point and will lose it if the decision is otherwise.
Yeah. It is out.
Sloane must have been pretty certain. And she was right. No Hawkeye here, because you can almost always tell exactly where the ball landed. And it saves an awful lot of money. But Hawkeye vital to the line calling at other tournaments on other surfaces. That's a penetrating backhand.
30 secondes.
Terrific inspiration for black tennis players all over America, and for those former players who try and bring more youngsters into the game, like Zina Garrison in Houston and Malavai Washington in Jacksonville, Florida. They both run programs, not just for minorities, but largely black players. And here we see 2 in a semi-final of a Grand Slam, following up on the US Open final. Should be a terrific motivation for everyone, be it on a public park court or in a program or at a tennis academy.
Flanke gehoord.
Breakpoint chance gone.
Ja, Flanke.
Solid first serve. Keys couldn't handle it. Oh, that's a little vignette of the power that Madison Keys has.
Avantage Keys.
And it's got her another breakback point. Stevens has to be wary of that kind of shot making. Not a tremendous amount someone can do about it if your opponent connects as well as that. All about timing. She went for it again. But it's difficult to pull off. Oh, the serve was smack on the line and Keys just overhitting. As I suggested, Stevens, the more consistent player off the ground, extends the lead, 4-2 first set. Althea Gibson would be proud of the scene we're witnessing here. She was the first black Grand Slam winner way back in the 1950s. And she won this title, Althea Gibson, in 1956, beating Britain's Angela Mortimer, 6-love and then 12-10. Yes, well put away by Stevens. My first job in tennis was to write Althea Gibson's copy for her for the London Evening Standard. Charming lady, introduced me to the game in a way. I escorted her to the Wimbledon ball, which, looking back, must have raised a few eyebrows, I suppose, but I didn't think too much of it at the time. Important for Madison 2-hole serve here. Keep in touch with Stevens in this first set. She's a breakdown. And she has done.
As King Midas, I get special treatment. Here, you will too.
Your oil change comes with a tire rotation as well.
Ooh, I could put that on an airplane banner.
Maybe.
Visit Midas and get an oil change, tire rotation, brake check, and more. All for $49.
Hunting season. A perfect time to capture a glimpse of the cunning sportage as it stalks its prey. With its ability to gain a foothold in any environment, there are few places it cannot go. But with a retreat into the water, its elusive prey has found one. Ah, but the day is still young. Don't miss this opportunity to capture a Kia of your own.
We were getting married in the most beautiful rural setting. My mom got sick and couldn't be with us for our big day. I was heartbroken. Thankfully, we discovered ExploreNet. They responded right away and connected us to high-speed internet. Our big day was incredible because it felt like Mom was there.
ExploreNet. Connect to what matters.
So Sloane Stevens serving to extend her first set lead.
Zéro 15.
Bounce back. She can accelerate through that shot very nicely.
15-30.
Put Sloane Stevens under a bit of pressure now. 15-30. Oh, pushing Sloane Stevens all the way back and then making the error. She was practically in the linesperson's lap playing that high bouncing backhand, Stevens, but won the point because Keys couldn't keep it in play.
Garçon de compte.
Too many errors.
Mademoiselle Stevens-Mann, 5-3.
5-3 to Sloane Stephens, the US Open champion, who beat Madison Keys in the final at Flushing Meadows last September. Early days, but on track for another win if she maintains this consistency in comparison to her opponent, who's finding the net too often. There you go again. She has to be aggressive, Keys. That's perfectly reasonable, but she's got to give the ball more air. Put at least half a dozen shots like that straight into the net. Nope.
Cancel.
Trouble for Madison Keys. It's better. Her sixth ace, considering how often she's erred off the ground. It's a fair percentage of her points won. She lost the US Open final 6-3, 6-love. Well, she's got 3 games on the board, but she certainly doesn't want to subside like she did at Flushing Meadows in the second set. It's better. Well done, Madison Keys holding on. Already got more games in this semi-final than she did in the US Open final against Sloane Stephens.
The same sport hybrid technology that drives the Acura MSX. Now available in the 5-passenger RLX. And the 7-passenger MDX. Sport hybrid, super handling, all-wheel drive. Super runs in the family.
So you want to get into cryptocurrency?
It's hard to know who you can trust.
There are a lot of scams out there.
Everyone knows a guy who knows a guy.
Sorry.
Who knows a guy.
I'm the guy. So make sure you know who you're dealing with.
Or you could end up investing.
With me.
15 secondes.
Serving for the first set, Sloane Stephens, 15-love. As I was saying, it's just a question of, especially on a clay court, of being more consistent with those ground strokes, keeping the errors down to a minimum, which Keys hasn't been able to do so far. Once again, finding the net. She's made 22 unforced errors to Stephens' 7. Tells the story. There's another one. And that is the first set in 37 minutes. 11.
History continues to repeat itself as Sloane Stephens has now won 5 consecutive sets against Madison Keys. Stephens winning that first set 6-4 as she looks to reach her first French Open final. I hope you're enjoying our Day 12 coverage here at the French Open on TSN. Earlier today, Simona Halep was in our first semifinal against in 16 champion, and now Halep gets another opportunity to win that first Grand Slam title. It's her 3rd final at the French Open, her 4th Grand Slam final, as Halep will now face an American. Is it Sloane Stephens or is it Madison Keys? She has had success against both of them, a 6-1 record against Keys, a 5-2 record against Stephens. Most recently was supposed to face Madison Keys in Rome during the round of 16. Halep, though, that was a walkover because Keys had a rib injury. So it will be Halep against an American. Meanwhile, earlier today, Rafael Nadal, the 10-time champion, overcoming Diego Schwartzman, winning that match in 4 sets. This after losing the first set yesterday. The match continued today after rain delayed the match yesterday. And Rafa off to another semifinal at Roland Garros. And so is Juan Martín del Potro, his first semifinal since 2009. He defeats Marin Cilic in 4 sets as the Argentine is back in the Final 4 at the French Open and will face Rafael Nadal. That is our one semifinal. Our other semifinal we've known for a couple of days has been set. Dominic Thiem, his 3rd straight year in the Final 4 in Paris, will take on the 72nd ranked Marco Cecchinato after upsetting Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals. You can see both semifinals on TSN on Friday. Our coverage of Day continues on TSN 3, and Tennis Channel's coverage of day number 12 continues on TSN 5.
She beat in straight sets, 2 tough ones, 7-6, 6-4. And in the previous round, the Romanian newcomer, Buzănescu, was beaten 6-1, 6-4 by Madison. And even the hard-hitting Japanese Naomi Osaka went down to a 6-1, 7-6. Madison basically out-hitting a very strong and promising young player in Osaka. But the mistakes keep coming. And if she doesn't do anything about it, she is not going to win this match. That's better. That's brilliant by Stevens, because that was very good aggressive play by Madison Keys. It'll be a big dent into her confidence, because she played that exactly the way she wanted to play it. And she almost pulled it off had it not been for Stevens' anticipation and speed and the skill with which she produced that lob. Excellent tennis from the US Open champion. Not so much with that service return. She's still got a break point, and she'd love to get ahead in this set. Yeah, that's excellent from Madison Keys. The sliced backhand drop shot did exactly what she wanted. Not an easy shot to pull off. Okay, Madison Keys freeing herself up, going for those forehands. She knows it's her only way back into this match, and if she can pull them off, she's got a chance. Not with a second serve like that. That was fairly horrendous. And once again, a forehand into the net.
Avantage Mademoiselle Stevens.
No, that's going long. So the break point is saved. Hugely important for Madison Keys to hold serve here. She won't do it like that. Not a very good backhand volley, and a very dangerous game to lose for Madison Keys, having lost the first set. Put so much pressure on her now to break the Sloane-Stevens serve, which she has to do.
15 secondes.
That's better from Keys, getting the length. Very deep, hard-hit forehand. Nothing less will do against Stevens. That's the pressure Keys is under. She's got to hit shots of that quality to make any impression on her opponent. It's not easy. Picked her spot. And she misses much less than Madison. Four consecutive years between 2012 and 2015, Sloane Stevens reached the fourth round here at Roland Garros. And the third round in 2016, didn't play here last year. But those four fourth rounds showed how comfortable she was on the surface. And now she is heading for the final, unless Madison Keys can come back with some really powerful clay court tennis and reduce the number of errors in the process. A set and 2 for Sloane Stevens in this all-American battle. That's better. Got the angle. Took Stevens out of the point. Great return from Sloane Stevens. That forced the error, really. It came back so fast, slightly unexpectedly too. Keys reacted too slowly and put her forehand long, which is better than putting it into the net, and she's done that too often. That's nice and smooth. Third backhand winner. Right on the line. That'll do. At least keeps her in touch.
Closed captioning is brought to you by New McCain Breakfast Triangles. Try them today.
What if advances in technology had stopped here and never moved forward? At Franklin Templeton, we help you invest in companies that treat every milestone like a stepping stone. Reach for better. Franklin Templeton Investments.
The 2018 Nissan Rogue, now available with ProPilot Assist. And during the Nissan My Choice sales event, get into a 2018 Rogue from the equivalent of $59 weekly. Offer ends July 3rd.
Here's how to keep your kids safe and cool this summer. The classic bladeless fan provides a nice cooling breeze, has 12 speeds. Wow. And because it's bladeless, it's super safe. The classic bladeless fan, only $99.97 and only at Home Hardware, Building Center, and furniture locations.
It's in. He's done it. What a way to save a match point.
Experience it live at Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. Single session tickets on sale now at rogerscup.com.
Cancel.
Before reaching the final at Flushing Meadows last September, Madison Keys had only got to one semi-final. That was at the Australian Open in 2015. And then the quarterfinal at Wimbledon that year. So everybody started talking of her as a future Grand Slam champion. But it didn't really materialize. The next year, she couldn't get past the fourth round of any of the Grand Slams. She was, in fact, in the fourth round of all four Grand Slams, but lost at that stage. And then burst through at the US Open, but lost rather heavily to her opponent today. Looking a little bit despairing now, Madison Keys. She's got to dig deep inside of herself and say, come on, I can do better than this. I'm a better player than I've shown out here today. Doesn't want a repeat of the US Open defeat, which was 6-3, 6-love. She's already done a little better than that. And more aces will definitely help. That's number 7, I think, yes. It's a big weapon, but it can't stand alone. That's better forcing tennis. Utilizing that big forehand, getting the rhythm in the shot. That was just long. So, one of her easiest service games so far for Madison Keys. 40 love, but she's a set and 1-3 down. Not sure that she had to hit that, but didn't make a very good fist of it. Yeah, okay. One of her better service games. But she's still got to find a way to break Sloane Stephens' serve.
What can we learn from the past? In this 306 horsepower history class, plenty. Over 50 years of racing glory distilled into...
This slow-mo is killing my lap time.
Oh, okay. Sorry, James. Celebrate our racing heritage at the Honda Checkered Flag event. Now lease a Civic sedan for only 0.99% for 48 months.
I like people that can really be creative, and I try and be creative in my own ways, creating art on the snow. I like trying to find art in all aspects of life. That's the huge thing about traveling. Chris and Ward play the ultimate hatter role to see what they can create and all the little touches they put on these cool hats. When I travel, I love taking home a little piece of where I've been. Show how you feed your need to travel using #Avioning. Avioners can do that.
Here's how to keep your kids safe and cool this summer. The classic bladeless fan provides a nice cooling breeze, has 12 speeds. Wow. And because it's bladeless, it's super safe. The classic bladeless fan, only $99.97 and only at Home Hardware, Building Center, and furniture locations.
Which the French Federation feel is necessary. So massive reconstruction will go on next week here and on through the rest of the year. The roof won't be ready, but the construction will be half completed by next year. So we'll be playing in this stadium next year, but will be far from completed. The media center's coming down. The media will be in what is now the museum. Very steady, unspectacular performance by Sloane Stephens. Just what you'd expect of her. Grooved on her ground strokes. Waiting for her opponent to make errors, and unfortunately for Madison Keys, she's obliged. Like that. Yes, that was good. Looked quite good when she's been able to get in. Volleyed quite nicely. But not often enough.
Mademoiselle Stevens. Changement mademoiselle, s'il vous plaît, parlez. Mademoiselle Stevens, man, 4 jeux.
Little encouragement for Madison Keys. Crowd probably evenly split. They're watching two Americans. And they'll want to see a contest, so they're giving a little more support to Madison Keys at the moment, who's in trouble. Not a good enough approach shot to worry as smooth a passer as Sloane Stephens. That's better. Forcing Sloane Stephens onto the defensive and then taking advantage of it. So 7th forehand winner, but shield your eyes if they put up the number of unforced errors on that forehand side. Or on the backhand side. Well done. Got an error out of Sloane Stephens. Quite a rarity. Just the extra pace off the forehand. She was inside her baseline, taking away time from her opponent. Oh dear, it must be so frustrating. She changed tactics quite cleverly then, because you've got to change a losing game. So she started giving the ball much more air, taking out the possibility of sticking it into the net, which she's done so many times. And then she came up with a lovely deep approach and then still made the error. The way to save break point. Certain air of desperation about those forehands, just hitting out, and she's got the talent to do that. But on the big stage, signs of being too tense. Happened in the US Open, happening here again at Roland Garros as she comes up with a double fault. Only a second double fault. The serve hasn't really been the problem. 7 aces. on the line, saves the break point. Stevens is not convinced. And in frustration, the ball is flung into the air. And one feels for Madison Keys.
This week's homework? Gravity.
Homework. Oh, homework. I hate you. You stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. If you just disappeared, it would tickle me pink. Homework.
Next up.
Oh, homework. I hate you. You stink.
The 2018 Nissan Rogue, now available with Pro Pilot Assist. And during the Nissan My Choice sales event, get into a 2018 Rogue from the equivalent of $59 weekly. Offer ends July 3rd.
Here's how to give yourself an extra hand in the dark. Use the Reactor Flex flashlight. You can wrap it, hang it, it's magnetic, and it clamps. Look, no hands. The Reactor Flex flashlight, only $19.97 and only at Home Hardware and Building Centers.
Replice.
Sloane Stevens, one service game away from the final of the French Open. New territory for her, as indeed was the semi-final. Even then, no luck for Madison. Somehow, the fleet-footed Stevens got there, got the ball back over the net from a ridiculous angle, and won the point. That was in. That was the depth and power that Keys has been looking for and really only finding on rare occasions. Certainly not enough to worry Stevens. Yes. When it works, it works. She went for the big cross-court backhand, and Stevens had no chance. So, 15-30. Not over yet. Don't have to hit the serve at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Placement can do the job. 2 points away from the final for Sloane Stevens. Madison gets a rare error, and it's given her breakback point. Oh! 1 hour and 11 minutes they've been on court. Oh, that was a very deep second serve. And will she? No, she can't. And Madison Keys has broken back. Errors, couple of good winners from Madison Keys, and the whole thing can look very different. Lots of encouragement now for Madison. Oh, that's a lovely backhand down the line. She's played that a couple of times before.
Yes,
Keys
sir.
has no chance when she pulls that off. Madison Keys, born in Rock Island, Illinois, before being brought up in Florida. There she goes with a big forehand. Sloane Stephens, born in Plantation, which is just inland from Fort Lauderdale, where Nick Saviano has his camp, where she trained for a while. That is going out, and Madison Keys is starting to look a little freer. It's often the case when you get so close to defeat, you think, well, I got nothing to lose, and you loosen up. And that looks like what's happening with Madison right now. Point to close the second set to 5-4, would still be a break behind. And that forehand cross-court is the sort of shot that Madison Keys is well capable of. We just haven't seen it enough until now. So at the second time of asking, Sloane Stephens will serve for a place in the final.
Shoot it, Daniel.
Here's how to give yourself an extra hand in the dark. Use the Reactor Flex flashlight. You can wrap it, hang it, it's magnetic, and it clamps. Look, no hands. The Reactor Flex flashlight, only $19.97 and only at Home Hardware and Building Centers.
Writers, and not for the first time, we went to a very upmarket brasserie called Le Flandrin. F-L-A-N-D-R-I-N, for those of you who are coming to Paris. Maybe on holiday this summer. Good place to go. It's not outrageously expensive, but the food is excellent. Well, that's a better start this time for Sloane Stephens, serving for the match and a place in what would be her second Grand Slam final. Of course, she won the US Open last September. Getting very close now. 30 love. Oh, that's long.
What?
No, I'm afraid that's the kind of error that has typified Madison Keys' performance this afternoon, although most of her forehand errors have tended to go into the net. And now Sloane Stephens, the US Open champion, has 3 match points to reach